You all awake this morning? Good morning, everybody. It's Tuesday, which feels like a Monday for me. And that is the beautiful natural color of the, I don't know, it's a river. It's at the Stone Forge River. It's a creek, actually. The Kanawha Forest Coalition took that picture. The first link in the description goes to that on Facebook. That is the direct emissions from a coal plant, now that they're allowed to do that. And that's what the water looks like, thank you to clean coal. Right? That's as clean as coal gets, everybody. That's what you're looking at right there. Beautiful, isn't it? When your streams run red with something. We don't know what the hell that is. Good morning, everybody. How you doing today? Got Melissa and Paula and Ellis and Stock, Brad, Steve. Steve, thank you, Brad. I see you always posting stuff in the Facebooks, or at least I see your stuff. If everybody else posts, I don't know. I just see Steve's stuff a lot. Thank you for that, Steve. How you doing, Joanna Am? The greenhouse is awesome. Nice, good. Posted a video of your dad. You made a greenhouse. Very cool. Michael Stapleton, how you doing? How you doing? Everyone got to buy a new truck and a small vacation. Where's this? Guys are having a good conversation. Good morning, Carrie. How you doing, Carrie Holder? Bev, Red Rust Water. I'm betting there's more in there than rust. Lynn, Vermont. Nice to see you. Invictus. Density, how you doing? Froze, Juliet. Good morning, everybody. I missed you. We'll see you somewhere. Of course, we have Markus with us today, all the way from Germany. How are you doing this morning, Markus?
I'm fine, and good morning, John, and as usual, good morning, America.
So I was, we're gonna get into more of the stories and stuff. But I was just telling Markus, I didn't load this in, but somewhere over there in one of the more involved European countries, they've made a penis seat on a bus. And it's making people uncomfortable. It's supposed to bring awareness of sexism, sexist stuff, and it's making all the men uncomfortable. What would you do if you saw a penis seat on a bus in Germany, Markus? Just
good question. I think if there was a seat, I would sit down.
If it was the only seat, you'd be like, all right, I'll sit here.
So what's the problem,
It's supposed to make people get up and go, what the hell? It's
yeah, it's good to make people think. Yes, of course.
And it really was. It's a now this story, guys, and I'll have to grab that. It just came through Facebooks yesterday as I was looking at stuff, but not a bad idea, right? Basically, a seat on a bus that has the form of a guy sitting already in it with like a flaccid dick. So you sit down, and you're like, what the? And it's. Look, we're gonna. Well, the story just broke a couple days ago, and Tatum covered it last night with an interview with one of the women who's calling out Arturo Carmona for being sexist. Sexism is a thing that's been normalized, 100%, and that's not okay, right? Even when I heard that, I mean, I'll just be honest. When they first pitched the story, and I was like. My initial reaction was like, really? That was my initial, and then I had to sit there and think. I was like, did you just totally like blow off something that you wouldn't, like, if that was happening to you, you'd be like pissed as fuck all. And I didn't even know the full story yet, right? But my immediate male reaction was, really? So? And then I heard the woman's interview, and then we did the full story, and I'm like, holy fuck, this guy's a dick, right? But there's some serious indoctrination going on with guys. We don't understand sexism. It's the way all of us have been raised with it. We see it all around us, even in the best of countries, even in fucking Germany. All right? Sorry, Germany. It's there too.
It's all right. It's true.
It is.
Yeah.
You
don't have to question this.
You guys probably a little more aware of it than us in America, but it just goes without saying. It's a guy thing.
I don't know if we are more aware, but we have strong opinions on feminism, and yes, and some advertisements who were mostly shown naked women to sell products are are very critically thought here in Germany, and some lead to trials at court, and already lost. Yes.
Yeah. No, I'm sure. Here they end up with paying people sums of money and then telling them to be quiet. That's usually how it goes. You know, depending on who you are, if you're rich enough, you can just get away with it. Or if you're special or if you're a celebrity, sometimes you just get away with it. Depends. America's got a lot of unique class levels, depending on who you are and what you are, based on color, race, sex, all sorts of things. Been doing that for a while. Money, though, is the key to anything. You can be anybody and be horrific as long as you got money, right? That's America. But anyway, all right. So I just wanted to say that was the penis seat. I watched a video about that, and just watching old white men freak their shit. That's, that was worth it to me. Good morning, James Hancock. How you doing? Good to see you. Jonathan Dangle. Stock post, sexism is being misused as well a lot. Right now, I don't think we can go into, we got to change. That would be my initial defense as well. It's being used a lot. No, it's there a lot. I agree, but it's there a lot. It needs to be dealt with. Okay, there you go, Melissa H. You just Googled a picture of that bus seat. Wonderful. Drop that link if you can. All right, moving on. We got stuff to talk about. First of all, thank you all for your comments. Lots of comments that I have not responded to about the weeping video, about 1968, and talking about what happened that year, comparing it to what's going on now. A lot of Al Walsky, I remember, made a comment. Several of you talking about how you were alive back then. You remember what happened. There's a lot of different aspects to the story that we don't know, and that's absolutely true. I don't know shit, right? I wasn't even a gleam in my dad's eye yet, So it's. I'm learning. And the reason I want to bring that up is because I talked to my dad, and he told me some things I was very fascinated with. He said, Dan Rather had something to do with the whole Watergate thing. And he said, Dan had been working on, now, I am just repeating shit my dad said right now. All right. So this is paraphrasing somebody else's recollection of what was going on in Watergate. My dad's going to come on the show sometime this week, and he's going to tell us what he remembers and his perspective from back then. All right. But here's and a lot of you guys are gonna be like, I remember I was back then, or yeah. So I know a lot of you in the audience definitely know more about this than I do. But at 47, I learned something very interesting. I think we need to take to heart about what we're doing today in media, particularly independent media, particularly investigative journalism, because the Watergate scandal, which I grew up understanding was just this big thing. Somebody busted out that they found these tapes, and there was obviously there was people listening to conversations. Nixon was doing the wrong thing. Then somebody blew the whistle on it. Then they found the things, and then it all came out, and Nixon was fired, and that was it, right? That it all happened at once. It was this big boom, Watergate, and it all went down, right? That's my understanding of the history. That we found out there was this thing going on. People told on other people, people found evidence, and all of a sudden Nixon is impeached and we move on. That's not how it went down at all. At all. Because apparently investigative journalists, Dan Rather being one of them, but there was these other two guys, Carl Bernstein, I'm not going to remember the other guy's name. The movie with Robert Redford in it, All the President's Men, is about Watergate. So if you want to watch a Hollywood movie, and that was my dad said, he goes, oh, I watch it every year with Joan. So that's watch that movie, and you'll get the Hollywooded version of the story. But the important part in all of this, all right, the important part in all this is not the individuals. The important part is how long it took. All right, investigative journalists were working the Watergate story. They were uncovering information. They were trying to find whistleblowers. They knew something was rotten, and they had been covering it and talking about it for at least a year A year. And it was being ignored by the rest of media. It was being touted as bullshit. Nobody was caring. And then all of a sudden, a story broke. The story or something happened. And that's when it all became, it went boom, right? My point being is that when we look at investigative journalism today and the things that it's uncovering, and we see the lack of mainstream media coverage on it, think of all of those things as little Watergates, right? These are all things that need to be told. They're all truths that are being ignored. And that's to me, the big hit on that was Watergate just didn't go boom. Watergate was the effort of a bunch of people working a long time against incredible odds, against the government, against other media to prove a truth. And that's some serious shit there. Not only does that say that's the reason we have investigative journalism, that's the reason good journalism is supposed to exist, but it also tells you there's a massive disconnect. There was a massive disconnect in the 60s between the citizens and the government that is supposed to serve the citizens. When you got shit like that happening all over the place and investigative journalists having to uncover shit like that, we need to fix that. That's like one of the root systemic issues is communication between our government that serves us and us. Right. So anyway, Deep Throat. You mentioned Deep Throat. Woodward and Bernstein. Thank you, Bev. Yeah. Bob Woodward. Thank you, Froze. Right. Again, I'm looking forward to talking to my dad. I'm going to go watch All the President's Men, which I probably watched as a kid with my parents and just don't remember shit about it. Right. But the big point is that it took time. It took continual, relentless push about the story to get it to break and become something that eventually got rid of Richard Nixon. Right? Same thing's happening right now with Donald Trump. Same thing's happening right now, really, with our entire establishment government. That's the problem. There's so much information, so many lies, so much new bullshit we're finding. It's like Bullshit Mountain is not only crumbling, but it's volcanoed. Everything in there is just coming out as fast as people can whistle blow, as fast as people can uncover, as fast as Freedom of Information Acts can be recovered. This stuff's just flying out of Bullshit Mountain. And that's overwhelming to us. Right?
Exactly.
We don't, it's like, how much of this shit is real? How much of this shit is really true? You know, and then within it, how much of it is exaggerated or under-exaggerated? It's just like, my God. How do you deal with Bullshit Mountain, Markus? It's so huge.
Yeah. What exactly? I hardly cannot deny that you are completely right. What to do? I have no answer on this, you know. As you said, the picture with the volcano is very fitting, in my opinion. There is indeed all this shit coming out, and we are there looking for cover, and we don't know what kind of shit we have to address to it first.
Right. There's so much. Jon Stewart's Bullshit Mountain. I will make sure we give him. That should be like that branded. Jon Stewart's Bullshit Mountain. Come vacation today in a land of politics and make-believe. That's what we need to make a resort. Disneyland needs to just work on that with him, right? Go get berated by a reporter. We could have all sorts of rides and fun on that thing. Oh, man. Bev was 22 in 1968, a newlywed in a painful marriage. Density was 16 in 1968, interested in the 3 Ps, pot, petrol, perfume, but not politics. Nice. Yeah, the LA Times article went viral about Trump, and that was good, Eco Sutra. But, you know, that's playing to a mostly conservative or liberal crowd. Jon Stewart is a light of hope within the establishment for mainstream media, sure. What were you saying, though? Yeah, Froze just listed something I was going to talk about anyway, which is if you guys have seen the news, I was talking to Markus, about it, so the attacks in Syria. And we are the terrorist. That's no matter how you want to look at it. I don't blame ISIS. I blame us for selling weapons, for promoting war. And it's horrific. what's happening over there. Anybody who thinks we're doing good over there, no. We've never done a bit of good over there. Nope. Anyway, excited to have my dad come on and talk about history. And learn a little bit more about that. Dan Rather. Other interesting things about Dan Rather, though, because I was like, all on Dan Rather. He's got this thing with News and Guts, all right? He's doing good. He's posting good content. He's out there. Ted Koppel's out there talking, let's get back to some real journalism. I didn't know this, though, right? Dan Rather's a human being like the rest of us. I knew that, but what I didn't know was what points that out, right? As a journalist, he also had his moments. Apparently, Dan Rather is also remembered for not reporting the Kennedy assassination using correct words. He biffed some words on that, and a lot of people think that what he was really doing was spinning the narrative at the time, because there was a lot of conspiracy theory and concern back then, and a lot of people accused Dan Rather of working with the government to spin the narrative on what happened with Kennedy and the assassination. You can Google that, go to Wikipedia, look at the history of Dan Rather, and read that. I was like, ooh, Dan Rather and JFK. What does this have to do with it? So my point there isn't that, hey, Dan Rather once did some shady shit or said the wrong things on TV and misled a whole bunch of Americans, because he was one of the three at the time. He was big cheese. My point is actually that we're human. Right? Dan Rather is never going to tell the news perfectly. Neither am I or anybody else. Whether his intention was to lie or not lie, whatever that was, we all got to keep that in mind, that we're all human here. And we have to make our own judgments about what's going on. Anyway. Yes, USA is the number one terrorist, Steve. Absolutely. You were 6 in 68, Melissa. You remember seeing reporters in Vietnam? Yeah. There's a weed story. Talk about that. Moving on. And do we have any Vietnam vets in the audience today? I'm curious. Just like to know. So I got a question for you if we do. April Fools again. That's where we're moving into, everybody. April Fools again. So we had our beautiful, clean Coal River. You know what? I'm going to play this clip. I had this clip loaded. This is Dan Rather. There's also some interesting stuff about what went on with him and Nixon. I'm going to play this clip right here because this is another interesting story that I want my dad to recount. This is what he was talking to me about. Apparently, you guys are looking at this going, what the hell is he doing here? So, during that whole time, Nixon was in the Watergate scandal. There was some contention there between Dan Rather and Richard Nixon. This is an exchange. The reason I'm bringing up this exchange is because we don't have journalists today that call out like this. All right, think about the time period this is too. All right, so you really got to put things in frame there. Chris Wallace supposedly did some almost journalism, and we're going to look at that because I'm not impressed. It's missing a key factor. I see some of that factor here in Dan Rather, 1968. So let's listen to this, and then we'll come back talk about it.
I believe we are going to make progress in the economic and political fields. President. Thank you, Mr. President. Dan Rather with CBS News. President, are you running for something? No, sir, Mr. President, are you? Mr. President.
You see that look on Nixon's face? He wanted to shoot Dan Rather right there. That's the whole context of that. You got to go back. Oh, that's nice. We got the neighbor mowing his lawn. You could probably comment through on the mic. That'll lend to like a good springtime sound. You got to go read that whole story. But went on with that. It was kind of cool, right? Dan Rather is a rock star today. Dan Rather is one of the few people right now still remembers what journalism is like. And believe it or not, Melissa H. says, Dan learned from the best, Walter Cronkite. Walter actually put down Dan towards the end of his career and said he should have been let go a while ago. It was interesting. I was reading a quote from that. He got some criticism from Walter Cronkite. Anyway, interesting. Learned a lot about Dan. I'm glad he's around today to remind everybody what journalism with integrity, courage. I don't want to use the word balls because I think we're trying to get away from sexist, connotation. But that kind of his chutzpah. Okay, I don't even know. I'd pick another word. What would you call it in German? What is it? What is balls in German? Or like the equivalent?
The equivalent would be Eier, eggs. But I think you should refer to backbone.
Backbone. Okay, but okay.
Spine.
All right, spine. I like that. Spine. Having a spine. That works. That works. Not to slight invertebrates that might also be courageous, but yes, we'll go with have a spine. Because there could be courageous invertebrates. You never know. Dan made one big mistake, but he was purposefully misled. Okay. Really? Guts, John. Guts, Melissa. All right, we'll call it guts.
Ah, yeah, guts, yeah.
Guts, that works. All right, moving on. I just wanted to bring that up. Actually, that wasn't the April Fool's thing. The April Fool's thing is what's coming up here. That was just Dan and talking about 1968. This is I wasn't sure if this was like sarcasm or for real. It says Democrats have a new and surprising weapon on Capitol Hill: power. But look at the face. You gotta love who captured that photo of Nancy Pelosi's like, what? We have power? Where? Where did he go? Where is it? Give me that power. Where is that power? And Chuck, I love our politicians. They're like the oldest children ever. They're all Benjamin Buttons, it seems. I don't... Aging backwards, both mentally and physically. I don't... Please, God, can we get rid of Nancy Pelosi? Please, we got to get rid of her. She's so useless as an establishment tool. Why does it say we have power, and why do I think it's an April Fool's joke? Mainly because we haven't had any power. I don't know why we think we have power now. This says, turns out the Republicans need the minority party to help them avoid a government shutdown at the end of April. I don't know why. The government shut down, but we've had it shut down numerous times in W's era, right? We've had it shut down numerous times in Obama's. It just shuts down. People don't get paid. Stuff happens. They put up a fence on all the national monuments and say we're closed because there's nobody here. Government shut down. That's happened before. It happens. Apparently, in a non-functional democracy, your government just shuts down like a 2-year-old that won't go poopy. It's unbelievable that our adults that we pay to run our fucking country would just shut down because they can't get along. That's literally what the fuck happens. We have to replace our federal government with people who are not stupid. And I mean that. Literally. In the literal sense of the word literal. Lamar Smith does not believe in science. He is chair of the Space Science and Technology Committee. What the fuck? Anyway, moving on to power that the Democrats supposedly have or don't have or whatever. Republicans need help to not shut the government down, and Democrats have decided for now, at least, they will use whatever leverage they have to reassert themselves and assure the continued funding of their top priorities by negotiating with Republicans because they've done so well with that. Here's a Democrat negotiating. We want this. You're not going to get it. Okay.
And there's another point in the article. They say they want to oppose the Republicans and maybe cause the shutdown. But in the complete article, there is nothing again what they stand for, what they want to do, which is constructive and not destructive.
Yes.
Nothing.
Right. I have no idea. It's just a bunch of blah, 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 blah. I don't know what they're doing. So anyway, I don't believe them. And if they have power, they won't figure out what to do with it, or they'll lose it, or they'll negotiate it away. That's what they'll do, is negotiate it away and claim that there's some victory. Well, we got to continue to use both bathrooms on level 4 of the They had shut us out of level 4, but then we got to, and we no longer have to have a bathroom key.
I was very confused when I read that the Democrats celebrated that Trump didn't bring his healthcare plan through. They celebrated as their victory somehow, and this is completely nuts. This is completely nonsense, in my opinion.
Because
really, I read articles about how they were celebrating this.
That's all they can do.
And this
is celebrate the fact that he didn't win, right?
Yeah, completely bullshit.
That's because they really don't have any power. We've negotiated all our power away. The Democrats need to find guts, spine, both innards. They need innards. They're just empty sacks of donations, really. Air sacks with donation holes. That's what they are. The Democrats are just like less malignant. Moving on. Is this Russia? This is so awesome. No, we're not at Russia. We're almost there. Lamar Smith. I had to take the time to make a quote for Lamar Smith. Recently, three scientists went and debated the concept of science again and climate science with, our leaders. And Lamar Smith is the head of the Federal Space Science and Technology. I don't know how a man who doesn't know what any of these things are can become the head of them other than corruption. This is his quote about climate science. I don't know how we could accept this person in any role. Lamar Smith summarized his own views of global warming in his opening statement Wednesday. Understand, these are his own views, which quite frankly shouldn't be representative of what happens in the space science technology. He's a representative. But anyway, alarmist predictions amount to nothing more than wild guesses, according to Lamar. 97% of scientists, 60 years of documentation from Exxon, from SunMobile, from Chevron, documentation from the Gas and Oil Commission in 1945. None of this documentation means dick to Lamar. It's all wild guesses. Lamar knows better. He may not know what the word science means, but he knows it's a bunch of shit. And he knows better. All too often, scientists ignore the basic tenets of science, says Lamar. I want to read that again. Back up. The ability to project far into the future is impossible, says Lamar. For anything, apparently. I don't know what far means. How far is far? But apparently we're incapable of looking into, of even understanding what could possibly happen next, according to Lamar. Lamar is retarded. And I mean that in the literal sense of the word retarded. Maybe we hired him as a disabled person. No offense to actual disabled people, but maybe Lamar is disabled. And I want to know who voted for Lamar, because you must be disabled too. Texas, if you vote for this piece of shit again, it's on you. Honestly, I don't know how you would vote somebody like this into any position of power without corruption. Did you all get paid in Texas? This man doesn't believe in science. He shouldn't be in any government role, ever, anywhere. All too often, scientists ignore the basic tenets of science. Does he even know what the fuck that means? And why is he qualified? He's not a fucking scientist. He's not even a fucking human being. And they do this apparently to justify their claims. That's called the scientific method, Lamar. Their ultimate goal appears to be promote a personal agenda. I agree with him here. Their ultimate goal appears to be to promote a personal agenda, even if the evidence doesn't support it. Well, the evidence supports it, Lamar. But their personal agenda, I agree with you. It's called survival, you dumb fuck. We want to survive on this planet, the only one we have. I don't care if you survive, Lamar, but I definitely want to survive. And so do all the scientists and all the people who aren't stupid, like you, Lamar. I don't have any tolerance for anybody at this point who denies climate. It's not about ignorance. There's a basic disconnect in your fucking head. If at this point, with all of what's going around in the world, you don't have to have the internet or a television to really understand what's going on. If you don't agree with climate science or believe in it, there's a problem in your fucking head. I don't have to tolerate you or love you or help you be educated. I'm done with that. We're moving on. Okay? I'm hoping for a thinning of the herd in that regard. And if I'm part of that thinning, that's fine. That's just karmic justice. All right? I don't deny that I also need to be thinned, probably. Boy, humans are dumb. As Markus and I were talking about, we are retroactive. We never proactive, but we certainly get retroactive. We like retro here in America. Unfucking believable. Is Lamar a product of gerrymandering? Jesus fuck. Yeah, I know. People in Texas vote on the R or the D. R is going to stand for retarded. D is going to stand for dead. That's what we'll go for. I don't know. I don't know. I'm going to lighten up now. This is funny. Seriously, this is funny. We're done yelling at Lamar. Yelling at Lamar is not going to do anything. Lamar doesn't care. It's like Nancy in accounting. Lamar doesn't give a fuck. Right? Nancy doesn't give a fuck. Lamar doesn't give a fuck. Until we get rid of Lamar. Got to get rid of Lamar, Texas. I hope we're putting somebody to run against his ass. He doesn't believe in technology, so it shouldn't be that hard to defeat him using modern technology. You know. The Koch brothers have Tennessee locked down, and it doesn't surprise me. Somebody gerrymandered his gene pool froze. Nice. Yeah, there we go. Texas, 21st District. Nice. We get mad and cannot comprehend these people's non-belief in science, but the politicians must be aware that they are lying. Yeah, I agree. I think a lot of them are well aware. They don't give a fuck. And Markus, you and I have talked about this too, that I think a lot of these politicians are just like, I'll survive. I've got money, you know.
You can bet on this, yeah.
You know, I'll survive. I've got a bunker. I'll go to some country that's not annihilated. I'll be okay.
Yeah. There are managers around who are looking for places where the rich people can live in the future. And there, as you said, there are bunkers, there are walls, there's everything. There is defense systems, and they know what they're doing.
Right. Yeah, and we you guys are mentioning all the other things that are being shut down too, like internet privacy. You know, they're about ready to censor our internet. I'll be honest, I don't care about privacy. The CIA, the NSA, the FBI, they're all well aware of what I think, and that's fine. Fuck y'all. All right, you come on by. Fuck y'all. All right, I don't agree with your authority. I don't believe in your authority, and I really don't care what you think about what I think. Or what I say, right? That's the way. That's my I don't believe in internet privacy. I got nothing to hide. Let me rephrase. If you want to keep shit private, that's your right. I don't care. But I'm not worried. I'm an open book, man. Come look at what I got. All right. There's nothing I've got to hide. I want my public officials to be able to say that. Right?
Do you lock your doors when you leave?
Not usually.
Okay.
I live in the middle of a farm area.
Why don't you leave them open?
They are. Sometimes we do leave the front door open. I'll be honest.
Okay.
You can get into my house easy. Anyway, come on by. If you need to get into my house, you must need some help. How can I help you? That's the way my house is. Okay. If you come by, you need to steal something, you need to break in, you need to get something, you need to be in my house, then you obviously need something. How can I help you? You know, that's how I feel. If you're a ICE or a cop and you come to my house and threaten me, that's a different story. But if you're a human being in need, my house is open. And that's how every fucking house in America should be. Right? I don't believe in locks. I got nothing that's worth protecting that much other than me and other people around me, my living things, my plants. But all the shit that I own, who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? You know? Anyway. I got to move on to the happy story. This is the happy story. The best April Fool's joke that quite possibly it may not be an April Fool. I mean, just, you know, as far as our government's concerned, Russia does this regularly, but you got to listen to the hotline. This is Russia's prank voice message. Press 3 for election interference. They actually set up a hotline. I checked numerous resources. This is reported on CNN, numerous resources. This is actually an official Russian state April Fool's joke. They win. Russia wins April Fool's 2017, hands down, considering all that's going on. Enjoy.
You have reached the Russian embassy. Your call is very important to us. To arrange a call from a Russian diplomat to your political opponents, press 1. To use the services of Russian hackers, press 2. To request election interference, press 3 and wait until the next election campaign. Please note that all calls are recorded for quality improvement and training purposes.
Isn't that awesome?
Yeah. Please hold the line until the next elections.
Yeah. You think Hillary's out there calling on her phone right now? I'm looking at 2020.
Unbelievable. This is so unbelievable.
It is. It's you know, who would have thought? World's gonna end. We're coming to, you know, there's horrible things going down. I feel personally responsible for America's, you know, horrific death around the world. But we've got good April Fool's jokes. We do. Keeps us laughing. What? I mean, that's. I think about. I keep thinking about, Marcus, is that guy, the Auschwitz survivor that confronted the ICE in Sacramento. And I keep thinking, just imagine what that's like in his head, to have gone through that horrific, traumatic experience and to see it developing again. He must be, I mean, I couldn't imagine. Just unbelievable.
Yes.
ICE is on the move again, everybody. Well, they haven't stopped, but now they're 23 Portland area arrests, part of a 3-day Northwest immigration sweep. Just Nazi Gestapo running around. And here we have a U.S. citizen. He was arrested for drugs, probably pot, okay, but irrelevant. We criminalize drugs so much that you hear arrested for drugs and automatically they're a rapist and murderer, right? Whatever the hell it was illegal for them to detain him and then hand him over to ICE, where for 3 weeks he was denied legal counsel, he was denied phone calls, he was denied anything because he was brown. But he was an American fucking citizen and had been an American citizen for 16 years. I don't know. This is why I was telling Marcus earlier that if I saw ICE, I don't know what I would do. I claim that I would get all violent and enraged, but I'm a wimp. I really wouldn't. And I don't know what I would do. I would just probably go up to them and go, "You're fucking Nazis. You're horrific. Think about yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves. Get out of my town. Just get out of my town. I don't want you here." These are horrific, horrific people. Anybody that would choose at this point to be a member of ICE, there's something wrong with your fucking head. There's something wrong up here. I don't have to tolerate you. I don't have to try to love you. If you see what you're doing and you think what you're okay with doing what you're doing, there's something wrong with you. That's the point I'm reaching. It's you know, you're a human being, and that's as far as I'll go, because you and I have the same innards. but we don't have the same neurological connections. There's something fucking wrong with you if you're willing to do those kinds of things. That's my personal opinion. It's a broken aspect of your moral compass, or you don't have a moral compass. You're willing to split up families. You're willing to just act like that. You don't act human. You may be human, but you're not acting human. Let's put it that way. That's what it is. I don't know. And then this moves on to California Assembly. Let's hope it passes. My understanding is they just shot down the California's Medicaid for All. And now we got a bunch of Republicans in the California Senate or whatever part of it, the Assembly. They're probably going to try to shut this down. But California Senate on Monday, it goes from the Senate to the Assembly, the House, or whatever. They passed a controversial sanctuary state bill that bars local and state law enforcement from using their resources to help federal immigration enforcement. Any law enforcement agency in California that was willing to work with ICE is going to get their ass handed to them by their citizens. Holy shit. Really? Half your fucking police force is brown, if not more. I mean, really? White people are the minority in California. I used to live there. So, if you got any problems, brown people, just rise up. Seriously. You could kick us all out. Really. You know. The 40-member body approved Senate Bill 54, introduced by Senate President Senate President Pro Tem Kevin De Leon on a 27-12 party line vote. It now heads to the Assembly. Now, a whole bunch of Republicans are upset. Oh, this is terrible. It's these criminals need to be out of here. All these criminals. The Republicans are complaining about all the criminals, the violent criminals that ICE is removing from California. The lettuce pickers, the tomato pickers, the moms, the sons, the fathers dropping their kids off at school. Jose, who cooks your fucking meal down the street, you white supremacist fuck. And we're hearing it all across the country as these dumb Trump fuck voters. Like, I didn't know I was going to lose the good food down the street. They took Jose, he's brown. Literally, there are stories all over fucking America. Oh, my farm is doing bad. I voted for Trump. Now I don't have any farm workers. Thinning of the herd. Thinning of the fucking herd. No tolerance. None. Point being here, this is going to move to Assembly. Let's hope they have enough people without broken moral compasses in California to pass this. What does this do? This is going to piss off Trump and Sessions big time. And they're going to withhold funding to California. Good. California doesn't need your funding. California will find funding. They make more money than they send to the government anyway. So I think California needs to then pass a law that says, we're not going to give our federal tax money to the government. Fuck you. That needs to be the beginning of this, to fight back. That's how a big state fights back. Number 6 GDP in the world fights back. Right? That's I hope that happens. Please, everybody in California, push and push and push your legislators. You guys are like the bastion of hope in terms of fighting the regime, because you are the big fucking entity on the other end of the country. Markus is shaking his head. Markus, you agree?
No, I'm nodding.
Yeah.
Absolutely right. I wanted to mention this because we need to have a minimum one state of hope, of course. Exactly.
I mean, we've got, I think we're going to have the West Wall, right? Washington, Oregon, California, and we're just going to be like the last hope to hold out, you know. California can stop paying its taxes to go. Exactly. What are you guys saying? Looking over in comments here. I've been going off. I'm pissed off this morning. The chemical warfare. Looking at the images. If you guys have seen the videos, the AJ Plus and other videos, please do me a favor. Like @message on Twitter, real Donald Trump and everybody else in fucking government. Just send them those videos over and over and over again. Make them watch. Tell them they're responsible. Show them what a real terrorist look like. It's the United States of America. We are the terrorists because we sell the weapons, we promote the wars, and we make up bullshit to keep doing it. We are the number one terrorist in the globe. I am ashamed and embarrassed to call myself an American. And I'm going to work as hard as I fucking can to make my country not the shithole it is now. God damn, I'm pissed. Pissed at my inept fucking government. And the reason I'm even more angry is like on Thursday, I have to go do my PCP thing and make my statement and sit there for 2 hours as part of the local government and get the thing done. And I'm excited about that because, local government, I said I was going to get involved. And I'm reading all these emails about this shit. And I'm reading the procedures. And I'm new to government. I'm just going to tell you how I feel right now. Holy fuck, do we operate like it's 19 goddamn 50. Maybe 1850. I'm not even sure we're up to 1950. But we're slow. For a 21st century government, we are slow as fuck. And we need to revamp our systems. We need to revamp our communications. We need to revamp how we do things because we don't operate fast and we don't have a lot of time. And I'm going to go in and I'm going to learn. I'm not going to say any of this shit, but just based on what I see, I'm like, it's just like wading through mountains of crap that needs to be done quickly. I hope it moves faster than I think, than it appears to be. All right, but
and John, and now look at Bernie.
I know. Oh my God,
he does this for decades. Can you imagine, man? Can you imagine?
I'm surprised a guy just doesn't have
burning inside. It is burning inside him, and he's got to live for decades with this fire in him, with this energy in him, and he's trying to bring it to the people.
Yeah, decades of saying the same thing over and over and over again and seeing the slowest moving system ever. Non-moving system. Our government hasn't moved forward. It's just kind of ebbed and flowed within the same cesspool of bullshit. It's never really progressed. I know. We're going to talk about that, John Warren. Hey, Trisha Yeager. Yeah, he has a show. Bernie TV. Not a bad idea. Imagine. We're going to get to that. Actually, let me see. Are we there? We said fuck you, Lamar Smith, right? We talked about American Gestapo, the ice holes. ProPublica. We have ProPublica yet? This is just real fun. Sean Spicer, the dumbest White House press secretary I've ever seen in my fucking life. ProPublica expertly claps back at Sean Spicer for calling it a left-wing blog. Right? This is part of that narrative. When the government doesn't like something, they discredit it. That's left-wing, right? Or pot smokers are criminals, right? Or black people smoke pot, like we said in the 30s, right? In the 20s and 30s, the only people that smoked pot were colored people, right? Doesn't matter what color, where you came from, Puerto Rico, Mexico, whatever. You didn't want to do that. White people didn't smoke pot, which is ridiculous. I guarantee you there's more white people smoking pot today in this country, including our vets, including a lot of our vets. But if you look at the link, click on the link. This is beautiful because ProPublica just went to town on Twitter. And tweet after tweet is just, bam. How about this? How about some facts here? How about this? How about this? The 14 tweets in a row of just blam, 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 blam. And they even went back to Obama era and say, we talked about Obama lying. We talked about Obama falling short on his promises. Any other facts you'd like to know, Sean Spicer? That is a media network calling out on social media and using the power of social media. We need to help them, back them, right? Independent media networks, and I never even heard of ProPublica, really, until they started making news with this. But there's a lot of networks that we need to pay attention to that are reporting news, that are working on investigative journalism that we need to support. All right? When your own government is dissing and discounting the information coming out of your journalist entities, and these are independent entities, and you've lost complete faith in your mainstream media entities. Yeah. Am I frozen? Things look good on this end. Anyway, John
I would
TYT did a
refer
segment
to-
on Bernie TV. What, Marcus?
I would refer to Song Spicer when he comments the tweets and tries to confuse the truth. I would say it like egg painting. You know, he's painting eggs because you gotta know the Easter weekend is near and we know it's past. And I think every time when he tries to change the narration, to change the truth, then we should call it egg painting.
Nice. I agreed it. Sorry, I was looking at this other story here. You guys are all talking. I was looking at comments. You guys are all talking about the Bernie show, and here it is. Right. This is a little piece NBC News did on it, but I didn't realize he was actually doing a show, Marcus. I thought he was just doing an occasional broadcast, and we covered that one
today that you had a show.
Yeah. Yeah, we covered that one, Josh Fox, just because it was Josh Fox, and I got a notice for it. And then there was another one that ORTV covered. I'm not getting notices that they're happening. I tried to sign up and stuff. It's happening on Facebook. If he's broadcasting to Facebook, I'm happy to restream on our channel just to cover it there. But you guys got to help me find out when they are, because I'm. Are they on a regular? Are they doing on a regular time, or is it just kind of like whenever he cranks one out, you know? But I thought it was. I did the Bernie 2016 TV that I started. Right, really wasn't the first Bernie TV, and neither is this, because Bernie Sanders was doing his own show, The Mayor Show, in the early '80s in Vermont. Bernie is a journalist. Like, he likes doing media. He's been a reporter. He's been working with technology. He's been doing shows all his political career. And I think it's absolutely wonderful that he's doing what he's doing on Facebook. And I think it's also wonderful that we've got people like Bernie Sanders and Dan Rather, my dad, joining Facebook, using Facebook as a place to put quality content. Not that there haven't been other people that were doing it before. But it's as we've talked about, in 2016, certainly moving 2017, has been the emergence of social media as a legitimate platform for journalism, for news, for stories, for source information. And so you've got more journalists, more writers, more people with integrity moving there and using the platform. And I think that's fantastic. It's brilliant. Let's get all this content, this good truth and knowledge off of the locked down, censored mainstream channels. You know, I did sign up, Joanne, I swear. I should request to be the official restream. Nine tails. Having worked with aspects of the Sanders campaign during the primaries, I have a good understanding of the barriers they keep between different aspects of things, right? So. Bernie TV is here to bring the latest news straight from the political revolution right to your screen. The struggle continues. Stay tuned. There you go, Bev. Exactly. Watch Guy McPherson latest interview sitting in Belize at George Lucas bunker called Apocalypse Now. Interesting. They planning on escaping the ecological horror? Talking about Tom Hartman. I haven't heard anything from Tom in a while, honestly. Moving on. Ground game stuff, guys. Where are we at time-wise? 11:28. We're pretty good. Tom Perez. I don't know what to think about this guy. I think he's a tool. I don't really care. The reason I'm going to go down some of these ground rule things is or ground game things. I'm trying to set this. I want you guys to change your mind frame on people like Tom Perez, Keith Ellison, and other people in our government. All right. When we think of them in terms of human beings, right? Caring about Tom, you know, that's the same. Like, I can care about Tom as much as I care about you and Candyman and me and even Donald Trump, because he's a human being to whatever extent genetically he is, and that's fine. We're equal there. Tom is a public servant, right? He serves, and Tom is held to a standard there. And I don't look at Tom equally when I'm thinking of him in service to me. He's a tool. He's a tool whether he's a good tool or a bad tool. Tool is just a word. That means something I get to utilize to do what I want it to do. Screwdriver, hammer, saw, representative. There's no difference. Representative, harder to control, depending on how well they're trained, depending on what they learned about their job, what kind of a tool we purchased. And that's the problem, a lot of the tools we purchased. Tom is a tool that needs to either learn his job and what we want that tool to do, and this goes for all tools, or we have to replace the tool. But Tom will not replace himself. Once Tom is in power, Tom's going to be happy to be a tool and happy to be there, and Tom's going to feel like he deserves to be there. That's the way these tools are. Same with Nancy and Chuck and all the other tools. That's why the tools end up sitting in the shed, because we are too lazy to remove the tools. Or the tools really like being where they are, and so they kind of get rusted into place. All right. Here's part of the litmus test, and this was in that like 3-point purity test that was for establishment Dems, that I really call an integrity test, right? Because nobody's pure, but you can damn well have integrity. We need to tell Tom and the rest of the establishment Democrats that they need to admit to their bullshit. They need to admit to the collusion. They need to admit that the primaries were rigged. They need to admit that Hillary Clinton was helped by numerous individuals all over the fucking place. Don't give a fuck about Russia. I'm talking about within the Democratic Party. The problem is nobody in the establishment wants to do that. And the problem with that is we're not going to be able to move forward with unity until they do that. We're not asking for restitution even. We just want you to pull your heads out of your fucking arrogant asses and admit that you fucked Bernie, you fucked half the people in the party, you lied about it, then you were caught, and now you're trying to save face because you need us. That's where you're at. And if you want to save face because you need us, it's time to bend over and kiss some ass. It's time to admit what you did was wrong. And that's the first part of showing that you have some fucking integrity, Tom. Okay? And here's the reason. Why are we showing this? This is Tom talking to a CNBC host, and he just won't fucking say it. We're going to play the clip because I'm like, you got to hear this. It's unfucking believable. I can't remember if this is, I hope this isn't like the 10-minute clip, but you should get all the good parts in this. Here, we'll run it.
Do you think Bernie Sanders should have been the nominee? Would that have been better? Would he have won?
Listen, I focus on the future. What we know now is that the involvement of the Russians in the United States election.
Bullshit.
The involvement of the Russians and potentially the Trump administration.
I was just talking about whether you're going to change anything in the. Is it still going to be super delegates? Will it be done that way from now on with the DNC? Can you pick the nominee instead of? Well, why go through the primary process? Well, we're going to pick the nominee like Watson and Schultz.
The American voters are going to pick the next nominee, and we have a unity commission.
They didn't last time, did they?
Oh, come on. The American voters picked the nominee in the primary.
Kind of,
and,
bullshit.
That's why your last chairman had to leave.
Well, listen.
Bullshit. See. Tom would do so much better if Tom just said, yeah, the American people really didn't get a good primary last time, did they? We sure fucked them hard. Didn't even offer them lube. We just fucked them. Then WikiLeaks caught us and put out all that information, caught us. So we're caught. We're busted. Yeah, you're right. We're really hoping that next primary will actually deliver to the American people a Democratic primary now that they know that we're able to fuck them. That's what the Unity Commission should be about, Tom. Children. We hire fucking children. And that's an insult to a lot of kids. My kids didn't lie like this. I raised good kids. And even when they did something stupid, it didn't take them this long to go, yeah, that was stupid. I'm sorry. What is it with adults? Adults that we fucking pay. The annoying thing about that is, again, it's the tool. Like, we don't fix the tools. That's the problem. We have a return and exchange policy with our tools, right? Many of our tools are defective. Tom is defective. It doesn't mean he can't be repaired, but we have to send him out for repair. It doesn't mean he can't be replaced, but we have to do the replacing. Screaming at Tom like I am right now doesn't do anything. Just helps us all agree that Tom is not doing it right. You know, that's all this is for. The whole reason we're here today and talking is to get us pissed off enough and just so that we get up and do something about Tom. That's it, right? Because I can't do anything actually about Tom. I personally can't do anything about Tom. Right? So it's just very frustrating. Very frustrating. Very frustrating. What are you guys talking about the O'Reilly fact? Oh, yeah. He pulled ads from the O'Reilly fact. They'll find other companies. It's Fox News. And then here's Tom again. So this is another thing what I mean. So Tom goes on one show and he can't, well, the American people, blah, blah, blah. Then he goes out here and he's big words. Republicans don't give a shit about people on health care. Well, you don't give a shit about actually representing the Democratic Party, Tom, or integrity or honesty. And I don't care about the Republican Party, Tom. I'm a Democrat. I became a Democrat really just to help Bernie Sanders, and then look what happened, Tom. I'm concerned about the Democratic Party, Tom. I'm not a Republican. Don't give a fuck about them. What are you doing, Tom? That's what Tom needs. We got to teach Tom. It's our job. It's what management does. Bye, James. John Warren. Bye. See you guys. All right.
Did you really expect that Tom Perez would say something like this, like yes, we owe an apology or something like this to half of the Democrats? Do you really believe this?
It would be Tom's agreed upon response or verbal bullshit by the party as a whole, right? Tom will never really actually speak for himself. I guess Scott Galindez had said that he thought there was a little chance that Tom might have some integrity and shit because Tom was labor. Like, I guess he was the laborers. He's got a lot to do with the laborers and unions and help working people. And so Scott was like, Tom can't be that much of a, but that doesn't mean that Tom won't lie. That doesn't mean that Tom won't spin the narrative like the whole leadership within the Democratic Party wants it spun, right? I'm
saying this because you know about the discussion we had in chat and with Chad Lucas, who was here, about Elizabeth Warren, and there I see the difference. For her, I would have expected that she would give some words to what happened in the past.
Her? Elizabeth Warren? Yeah, maybe.
Yes.
None of them have. Yes. None of them will.
Yes.
Will.
None of them.
Bernie Sanders is the closest, right? Bernie Sanders is the one saying,
And this is the big white elephant in the room for many people. We saw this in chat, the reaction,
Yep. It's a common problem. Corporation Killer says, repeat, John, I have a big piece of clickbait for you. Make some money on YouTube with it. A friend just revealed where Jimmy Hoffa's body is. Do we care? How many millennials even know who the fuck Jimmy Hoffa is? Or was?
He was a union leader, right?
Yeah. With mafia ties and a lot of stuff, and was killed, and nobody knew where he was, and there's a lot of rumor that he's in many pieces on Staten Island. But, or somewhere.
Okay.
But whatever. Again, anybody know? Anybody under the age of 30, 35, and 40 probably know who the hell we're talking about there. My guess is not. The Seattle mayor had some good words. That's why I pulled this up in Ground Game. He's talking to me today. This is why I'm going to the thing on Thursday. It may be slow, it may be antiquated, but it's organization. Seattle Mayor to Dems, anger has to be attached to a strategy. Right? You don't just go around breaking shit because you're mad. Why are you breaking that shit? Or is there a purpose to breaking that shit? Or could you do something else instead? Right? That's can you channel that anger in another way? And this is what the Seattle mayor said. He said, this is a really angry thing. What I found interesting is he remembers doing this. He was a protester back with when AIDS and HIV in the early 80s, when Ronnie Reagan was basically ignoring it. Right? The whole they were ignoring it. We got this disease. It's killing people left and right. We have no cure for it. We don't know what the fuck it is. We're going to ignore it because it's a gay problem. Or we're going to call it a gay problem. Right? And so he was one of the protesters. And he says, this is a really angry time. And anger is really important. I can remember being young at the height of the HIV/AIDS crisis and the protests we did and the anger that existed, Murray said. But eventually, anger has to be attached to a strategy, and protesting is very important because it's one expression of anger. We really do need to get on what are the strategies, on what we need to get on with. What are the strategies we want to see? What are the things that we want to actually accomplish? And that is key, right? We want to change our government. Back that all the way up to step one, right? Step one for you. Step one for me. Don't think about step one for the Democratic Party. Don't think about step one for the Democratic Party of your state. Don't think about step one for the Democratic Party of your county. Think about step one for you. What do you need to do? And if that's join the local Democratic Party, joining some other organization, doing whatever it is, usually it's going to be meeting up with other human beings to get together and discuss what really needs to be done. Right? But that's the first step. What do you need to do? You want to talk about religion? Why? Thank you for sharing my stuff, Steve. What'd you say, Marcus?
Obviously, Iko Sutra is so high, as he posted earlier.
Oh, he's really high.
So in the mood for religion now.
Wow, that's really high. If you want to talk about religion, because I generally don't, or when I do, I don't really have a lot of positive things to say. I'll be honest about religion. You know, I don't find it all that helpful. Jeff Sessions does not believe in climate change, believes in Noah's Ark. Or no, that's not Jeff Sessions. He looks a lot like Mike Pence. Old, freaky, psychotic white men. Sorry, they just all look the same. Mike Pence. Yeah. All right. This is the journalism piece that I wanted to talk about. This is Raw Story put this out. And their headline, Chris Wallace systematically destroys EPA head Scott Pruitt. Climate change is not all a coincidence. And they make it sound like Chris Wallace is practicing journalism. Or trying to, right? And there's something wrong here, right? It's close. You're close, Chris. You're almost practicing journalism with guts. The problem is you do nothing to actually forward the truth. And this is the same problem we've had with all journalists and climate science. Because you know that you'll lose your jobs on mainstream media if you actually call it fact. Or if you call somebody else a liar, which at this point, anybody denying climate change for whatever reason is a liar. And they need to be called a liar. That's it. We need to have our news people, our agencies, when, it shouldn't be about the fact that 3% of scientists disagree with the rest of them. No, it's a scientific fact that our climate is changing. You don't need any, you can call it a fact. And I want our goddamn media to start using that word. It's a fucking fact. And we need to start calling the deniers liars. Okay? Because this doesn't help. When Wallace says, but what if you're wrong? What if you're wrong? What if? Stop saying the fucking what if. We've already got the evidence all around us that he is wrong. Okay? The evidence is all around us that climate change is here and it's killing us right fucking now. There's no need for you to be careful, Chris Wallace. Call the fucker a liar. Start calling these deniers liars. That's journalism. That's guts. When the facts have been stacked in front of you and they go back 60 fucking years, there's no room for if. There's no room for question. It's a fucking fact. And we have no journalists today on mainstream media with the balls, the guts, the spine, the innards, the whatever, to just call it that, because they'll get fired the moment they do. This is what is so annoying. So no, Chris Wallace, you didn't practice journalism. You practiced pansy ass, bullshit, spineless, weak fucking crap. Who's going to have the balls to be a real fucking journalist today and start calling our elected officials that deny climate science liars? You're a liar. Bernie Sanders does. Where's the fucking press? Where's the fucking press? I want to see one goddamn real journalist show up on mainstream media and see how long they last on their channel. Because even just once getting it out to however many people are watching the news would be good, would be something better than the bullshit narrative they continue to spin. What if? Scientists say in 100 years. Stop saying that. Right fucking now it's happening. Right now we have proof. You want to be a journalist? Start having the spine. That's what it means. The journalists that are doing this are the independent journalists, right? All the independent media. They have no problem calling facts facts and calling liars liars. They're not dancing around. They're not trying to party with Bullshit Mountain, right? That's literally what's going on. Okay, so I've had a very angry and, kind of rageful show today. I really apologize. I can't look at my list. We got a couple sciencey things. This is really cool. This is You see this? Remember this, Marcus? See this, Marcus?
I watched the video before.
Yeah.
Great idea. And so much fun. Yeah. I mean, the grown men can become kids again.
I love it. Yeah, this is a really cool idea. These are all just milled wood parts, and what's going on here is you build this house. It's like Legos. We'll zoom in. We'll watch the video. It's kind of cool. There. Oh yeah, these interlocking wooden bricks, I'll just read the words here, let you construct a house without a single nail or screw. Bricka wood is shaped to make building easy and fast. Look at all these milled parts. The ribbed boards and spacers are stacked together to create an airtight fit, so that the houses can meet rigorous energy efficiency standards. You can complete this cottage model in just 2 days, with obviously a gang of like 20 people. And the Douglas wood structures have a lifespan of 50 years. The method is perfect for DIYers, and the result is ecological, affordable, and stylish. So I think that's cool. I'm not sure why it's made of wood. I guess I know, wood, easy building material, but you've got other options these days. And if you're making like preformed bricks like that, they're going to stick together. Hempcrete. Why the hell aren't we using hempcrete? Right? And instead of
this is what I thought.
Yeah, a better insulator. I mean, I'm thrilled that the guy made this up, but it's wood. We don't need to be cutting down any more trees, right? This is a cool idea, though. You could make this out of hempcrete. You could make this out of mushroom form, right? That mushroom form stuff, that'd be interesting. All sorts of materials. You could make it out of recycled plastics. Very good, Chad. Yeah,
Yeah, correct.
absolutely. You could use hemp as insulation. You can just the hempcrete is insulation. It's all that. Yeah, that's a great little cabin there. Hang out in that. And it seems, again, it seems nice and quaint, cool idea, something affordable for people that need it. A little tiny house, DIYer. We're in the 21st century, in a world of abundance. Everybody should have a fucking mansion at this point. Everybody could, right? Everybody could be living in absolute abundance, not having to worry about survival in any aspect, in harmony with nature and our environment. We could. We still can. We just don't have a lot of time left to get there. But, yeah. Anyway. Cool idea.
Oh.
I did. I loaded it. Marcus saw what I loaded for silly. We're not going to do this. I got two things to show you. The first one is this. I'm not a... How many of you are sports fans? How many of you watched the basketball game last night? How many of you even know that there was a big basketball game last night? Marcus, were you aware?
I only know about the retirement of The Undertaker.
Really? The Undertaker was still around? Jesus, I took my kids to him 20 years ago.
Yes. On Sunday, it looks like he had his last match.
Holy shit.
Because he took off his coat, his gloves, and his hat, and put it in the ring, and then he left. And
Wow.
I think that's it.
Wow.
But I don't know about the basketball game, no.
Wow. That's so I didn't even know The Undertaker. That's huge. I used to take my kids to, Raw, wrestling shit, LA.
You told me, yeah.
Yeah. So University of North Carolina won the final NCAA tournament basketball thing. My dad is an alumni of University of North Carolina, and he has seen all 6 of their championships, and he remembers the first in 1957 and who he was with and what he was doing, drinking a beer somewhere, watching TV, watching that. So this is very special for him, and he said it was really not a very good game. The refs called a lot of fouls, and people were booing the refs at some point, and whatever. Whatever you feel about sports, I don't really care. I thought this was cool. This shows kind of a new era in when you've got lifted innovations showing the congratulations North Carolina on winning the championship tonight. That's a bong. And I had no idea who Lifted Innovations was, but apparently their bong colors, they've got a North Carolina bong color there. I thought that was very nice. And I thought it was kind of cool that they could just advertise that today, right? Because I grew up in an era where nobody advertised weed, nobody talked about weed. And today it's this massive industry. It's awesome. It's wonderful. And this made me look at Lifted Innovations. If you've not heard of them, they use bioplastics. I had not heard of them. I may order a bong. So they use bioplastics, totally biodegradable, from recycled whatever. I don't have to read their thing. They put on thing. You build a bong. Like you can buy pre-made structures, but they have all these different pieces, just like Legos for bongs, and then you piece together what you want, and it totals a price, and they ship it to you. Like it's plastic, so I'm assuming I'm gonna keep it longer and not break it before all of my glass bongs that I break immediately and pipes that I break immediately. But yeah, I just thought that was cool. That's the reason I wanted to show that. It has nothing to do with the actual sports. That's a bong. Congratulations. That's all. Celebrate UNC's championship with a UNC colored bong from Lifted Innovations. That's my plug for Lifted Innovations. Nice job, guys.
And that was John with the sports, and now let's go to the weather forecast.
Yeah, that's right. What I'd love is if something like that's the trophy. And the winning bong goes to the University of North Carolina. All of the players will take a bong hit in celebration, and we'll... And there's Coach Roy taking a big rip, thanking the team for their hard work. I love that. Because, they all went out and drank beer. Beer's promoted, right? Sports and beer go hand in hand. because we've been advertised that for decades. That's why they go hand in hand, not because they do. It's just what it is. And you can, I know over in Germany, you guys drink your beer, watch your soccer, your football, whatever it is. I know. Football. Soccer.
Nope.
Well, I played soccer. That's all I'm going to say. I did not play I played football too, but I was terrible at it.
But you said you were not very good, right?
No, I was terrible at football.
So then you played soccer, right? Yes.
Yes, I played soccer and I enjoyed soccer. I wasn't all that great at soccer either, but I did play it. Katie, biodegradable plastic is everywhere, actually. Bernice, I know of Lifted Innovations. They made a revolutionary grinder I saw. Very nice. There's actually a lot of bioplastics. There's plastic to-go containers now that are made from waste corn oil. And there's a shit ton of waste corn oil, believe me. All right? You know why restaurants don't use them? They're just a little more expensive than the other ones. That's why. That's why. We could pass a law just banning all the other ones. But Congress actually passed a law requiring them to keep the old 1970s styrofoam cups and shit in their cafeteria. Our Congress. That was before Trump. Just saying. That was Obama era stupid Congress. Beer and aggression. Absolutely, Ellis. Absolutely. Just imagine if we'd grown up with weed and sports. Everybody be just laying back, sleeping. That was such a good game. Oh my God, I'm so full. I'm gonna eat more though. Who's taking a nap? You taking a nap? That's what it'd be. That'd be the losing side. There'd be no getting up to riots. They'd just all be passive, you know, right, Marcus? Like, half of them wake up. Is the game over? Did I miss it? Oh man. I'm going to Oaksterdam. But Oakland, is that Oakland? Because they're moving. The Raiders are going to Las Vegas. That's you know. I
don't get this. I don't get this. How you can move teams?
Oh, easy. You guys don't move your teams? Your teams are like
I see that is easy, but it's in Germany it would be unthinkable that a club which was founded in the 19th century was moved to another city. No fan would accept this. And in the new home.
All right. I understand. I don't know. It was all about money. But it was all about money. Really. That's what it comes down to anyway.
Football fans in Germany are very conservative. Very.
Well.
They are traditional.
That's, I'm glad. I'm glad you guys keep your, you know, it's important. We're like sell to the highest bidder. And then once they leave, the fans are like, oh, you know. But I will say for towns that don't have teams, they get excited. You know, they really do. Anyway. Yeah. All right. We just got like 2 more things. Marcus is going to take us out with music story time. He picked a really oldie. Like we're talking oldie. I didn't know what this is. Pulling old American patriotism songs out from the German archive. I don't know. You got this, but we're not there yet. I got one. And Marcus said the kindest thing. We're talk about that too. I got one more thing to show you guys, and that's just I just got to do this just because this is as close as I'll probably get to being violent with Trump. Maybe you too. It's worth just listening. Here.
You said that we are going to not cut Social Security, Medicare, and Medicaid, and then you appoint Congressman Price, who's made his life's work cutting Medicare. You talk about how you're going to be tough on Wall Street, and then you appoint a Wall Street insider to be Secretary of the Treasury. You talk about being tough on the establishment. Oh, we're going to take on the whole establishment, and you appoint the entire establishment to your cabinet. The hypocrisy would be really funny if it wasn't so sad in terms of the implications of what it means for working people in this country.
There you go. President Trump needs a spanking. And probably a diaper change. You know? It's probably really cranky. Been sitting in that diaper for a while. Yeah, I know. It's hard to unsee that. It's creepy. I just listed it as creepy. I didn't know what else to call it. It's just... This is dank.
The violence on this channel continues to escalate.
What?
The violence on this channel continues to escalate.
Yes, it does, Bill. The spanking of children with enlarged heads. I know. It's criminal. That's the kind of things Americans do over here for sport. Just, that's what we are. Oh, my God. All right, guys. Marcus, the burning German. There we go. Marcus is going to tell us about story time. But you know what I got? We were at Lowe's the other day getting plants for the yard, and I have now in a pot out here some German thyme. German thyme. Right? Thyme, the herb, THYME. Right?
Okay.
So we were shopping we were looking at the herbs, and they've got thyme, sage and thyme and basil and oregano, and they had English thyme and German thyme. I was like, I'm gonna give me some German thyme. I don't know. I just let you know. So now we have that plant. So when we do the show, we can say we're on German thyme. Get it? It's a joke. It's just. I just tell you guys. All right. Tell everybody about this tune, because I don't even know. It's like that. Marcus is going to give you some American history education, everybody.
No, he won't. Because it was an accident that I found this video, because I was looking for some old protest songs, and then I found the Almanac Singers, and I didn't know they even existed since yesterday. And I looked them up on Wikipedia, and it is said that they were founded by Pete Seeger, who should be known to some of you, because he wrote a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
And a part-time member was Woody Guthrie, and this name was familiar again for me, because I can remember his son, Arlo Guthrie, who was playing in Alice's Restaurant, I guess, right?
Yeah.
And anyway, and
was it Woody or Arlo? Yeah.
I don't know who's the father or who's the son. I think Arlo was the father and Woody was the son.
No,
but
I
don't know exactly.
I don't know the history of the folk song either, but right, it's Woody Guthrie I think Woody's the father and Arlo was the son.
Yes.
And Arlo did the motorcycle song,
Yeah.
Anyway,
Woody Guthrie is known as an American folk singer.
Yes.
And the band, the Almanac Singers, are a worker-orientated music band which stood up for unions and was originally anti-war also. But then the song we are going to listen to is from 1941. Then the World War II broke out, and the situation changed, because they couldn't stand aside any longer and say we are still anti-war, because it was needed. Something would happen against Nazi Germany,
Right.
And this caused the first irritations in the band, and later they split. They reunited later. And then they got into the hunt for communists, and
right.
they songs also are communist ideals, and this finally made them to broke apart for good.
There you go.
But they got a lot of songs and a lot of interesting songs. I chose one. I Don't Want Your Millions, Mister, and I think this is very fitting for today's time also.
It is. Thank you very much. Yeah, and that was a great wrap-up on the history there. Anti-war protests make sense until World War II breaks out, and, then it's like, still against, that'd be a hard place to be. Totally against the war, but that one, we were facing a great evil. And we still are today. The important part about all of that, and what's interesting that ties this all together, and what Marcus said that was so nice earlier, that you guys want to know what he said, was Marcus said can you name any instance where Americans' violence or war has brought about a positive change? Right? And I immediately just said no, none. Right? You want to say what you said?
It is obvious because this is Germany.
Yeah.
There is, from my point of view, there is no other country where war really worked out to a better, and this was for Germany.
Well, so I just want to buffer Marcus's statement right there by saying obviously war in Germany didn't work out too well for a whole bunch of millions of people. Okay, that's not what we're saying at all.
No, of course not.
What we're saying though is that in this case, violence was a means to an end, and there was no way of stopping what was going on other than violence. All right, I think that's the hard place to be. You can be anti-war, but when you're faced with a world terrorist like Adolf Hitler, you don't passively overthrow his government. He had just passively taken it over and then violently made sure he had control. And that's, Marcus said, you guys, America, World War II, that's the one outcome. And it wasn't just America. I also obviously we jumped in the war late, Other European nations had been begging us to show up, what, Marcus? What?
Yes, but you installed the democratic system
yes.
we have here in Germany. And this is important from this point of view, seen.
Exactly.
And it is working, and here it is working quite good so far,
Thank you. That was the big point. Marcus said we installed democracy there.
In comparison to the American system right now.
Yeah, I think that's the sad thing is like Germany took the democracy. What's important here is that, and Marcus said this, like we went through two losing wars, asses handed, right? And we rebuilt on the democracy America taught us. America went a wrong way. America said, oh, look at the big penis extension we made after World War II. Let's keep building that. Germany was like, war sucks. Let's stop murdering each other and focus on this democracy, man. And that was where we split ways. And that was where a lot of people, the UK, hey, we just lost a shit ton of people. Our nation's in rubble. Let's give everybody health insurance. That's a good thing. Right? A lot of different decisions happening. America went for the penis extension. Everybody else sort of seemed to kind of go back to taking care of people. Capitalism made sure we just took care of our extensions. But that was a very nice thing of Marcus to say. And now let's hope that the rest of the world, Germany included, can show America how to be a democracy again. We've got very little time and we're learning as fast as we can. Right? So thank you all for being here. And thank you, Marcus, so much for participating and spending your time. You don't have to do this. You're going to be fine in Germany.
You know I love it.
I know.
So I say, see you tomorrow, guys.
See you tomorrow, everybody. And we're going to go out with with this song. I Don't Want Your Millions, Mister. The Almanac Singers. Thank you all for being here. I really appreciate it. Peace.
I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Now I don't want your Rolls Royce, mister. I don't want your pleasure yacht. All I want's just food for my baby. Give to me my old job back. We worked to build this country, mister. while you enjoyed a life of ease. You've stolen all that we built, mister. Now our children starve and freeze. So I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back my job again. Think me dumb if you wish, mister. Call me green or blue or red. This one thing I sure know, mister. My hungry babies must be fed. Take the two old parties, mister. No difference in them I can see, but with a farmer labor party we could set the people free. So I don't want your millions, mister. I don't want your diamond ring. All I want is the right to live, mister. Give me back